Hi mis amores, what's up? Today I kind of wanted to film a rather chill video. Usually I know my videos are like crazy, so many things happening, action-packed, crazy roller coaster rides all the time. But today I decided, let's chill. For that I thought, why not have you join me while I do my weekly meal prep? I must say I've only really been getting into meal prep, but more so accidentally. It's nothing I really planned. I wasn't like, okay, I want to start meal prepping from now on. I mean, I've kind of always have done it a little bit with dinner. I'm not really one to stand forever in the kitchen cooking dinner every night, which is why I would always make a little bit more so that I might have dinner for the next day covered as well. I just started doing that more and more, so especially recently with my chili, which I make enough of to eat for 3 or 4 days probably. Then I also started meal prepping my breakfast kind of, but I always do it in the evening for the next morning because they're overnight oats. But if I had enough jars or so, I probably would make that a couple of days in advance. Which brings me to my next point. I still do not have any of the meal prep boxes or stuff like that. Just waiting for that sponsor. I know I could buy them myself. I just feel like I'm overdue for a sponsorship. Yeah, I have a couple of boxes. It just won't be as aesthetic, but it'll be hashtag real. I want to do even more meal prepping so that I can be lazier throughout the week. This week I decided I want to try new recipes that I've never tried before, but actually our dinner will be something that I make weekly now. It won't be the chili because I've made that in a vlog that many of you guys haven't seen. We'll still go through this all day, so we should probably start with breakfast, which is hopefully the speed that I will make this recipe in, which also it should be. I found this recipe on TikTok. It's a cheesecake pancake bowl. I will try to adjust this a little bit more to my taste, as in I will add lemon. I just ate lemon in my life, you would know this. And I just think it would be really nice to have in the morning. I think it will be like cheesecake adjacent. It won't really be cheesecake. What I really like about this recipe is that you just put everything into a blender and then bake it. If that isn't perfect for meal prep, then what is? This is my first time using this blender after having made peanut butter in it, which it was struggling with. Okay. So we'll see how it'll handle this. With all of my meal prep, unfortunately, I know it's annoying to hear. I will usually try to make recipes or dishes that are quick to make, but are also high in protein. I'm trying to hit my protein goals and my fitness goals. I don't have a set protein goal. I just try to eat as much protein as possible because I don't want to get into tracking anything. That's a whole different topic. Cool. So we start with a protein source, 200 grams of cottage cheese. I really like cottage cheese. We're also blending it, so even if you don't like cottage cheese, I think you should be fine with this recipe. I say potentially prematurely. You add quite a lot of eggs, namely 4. 1, 2, 3. This is an educational channel after all. Y 4. You're so good at this. Well done. Next breakfast is on me. Ahaha. Then you add about 10 milliliters of vanilla extract, or just however much comes out. Here I've got 100 grams of oats and 8 grams of baking powder, which we're also gonna add. Of course, we need a little bit of sweetness in there, so I'm gonna add a tablespoon of maple syrup. And before we try our luck with our blender, I'm gonna add probably the zest of an entire lemon. I mean, it might get a little too liquid then, and I realize I'm changing recipes, but I think this is also about, meal prep. You gotta adjust it to your likings. And I want more lemon in there, so I'm just gonna add probably the juice of like half the lemon. It'll be fine. Because what did Ariana say? We're gonna be alright. I don't know the choreo. Fantastic. Like I said, I only have like plastic containers, and technically you can now just use these glass containers that you can also put into the oven. I don't have that, so I'm gonna use a less aesthetically pleasing solution and then just separate it after baking. Pro tip, this doesn't work, which is why take a little bit of water and take it. Ta-da! You're welcome. I told you this is an educational channel. This is my first time trying this. Now just pour your batter into whatever you want to bake this in. I have a current obsession with pineapple, so I probably should have added that on top, although I don't really know how pineapple behaves in the oven. Let's just add plain old blueberries, plain old as if they don't cost $1 billion to look this good. I don't know, blueberry and lemon is always a nice combination, right? Just sprinkle them on top. I mean, you can literally add anything, right? I feel like that's enough because I want to eat some blueberries right now. Now we just bake this at 180 degrees Celsius for 25 to 30 minutes. And guys, honestly, this technically wasn't even 10 minutes of work, and you will have breakfast for probably 2 days. It's time to try. So this is what it looks like. The focus was still on me. Camera knows what's important. Now here it is on the other camera. Nice and brown, very flat. This definitely seems a little bit too dry, so I'd probably add some quark on top, and I will do so. It seems tougher than it looks, but this looks like a nice piece of cake actually. Very spongy. Why is it kind of salty? Oh, the cottage cheese. I don't mind the like slight tanginess of the cottage cheese. You definitely don't have texture issues with the cottage cheese in there. This could be nice. It definitely has to be sweeter, which definitely tells me that I need a topping with this. I could see myself making this again. I just have to tweak the recipe a little. I'm gonna make a quick topping. This is just a bit of quark, to which I'm gonna add some lemon juice, maybe a little bit of the zest as well. And like I said, this is going to need a lot of sweetener. Then I'm just gonna top off my breakfast with it. That was easy, and now it's perfect. I feel like this is not just 2 portions. We put a topping on top, obviously. I'm gonna be crazy. Pink and yellow, yellow and pink. Okay, moving on to lunch. Usually I like my lunch to be very filling, but also not too heavy because I still have the rest of the day to get through and not just sleep, which I know typically you want your dinner to be a little lighter, I think. I don't know anything. Preferably something that fills me up completely without me having to make okonomiyaki every day. We're gonna try broccoli bread, which just looks very interesting, and I think it just looks like something that you can make in advance because it's bread technically. And then just spread a little bit of cottage cheese for protein for me personally, or you can add probably like cold cuts or cheese or so on top, and hopefully it'll be filling. I'm just trying new things for me to meal prep, to inspire me, things that are quick and easy to make. This will be a little bit not super easy for me to make because you need a small broccoli, about 300 grams, and a food processor. I don't want to put this into the blender, so I do have my trusty dusty little food processor. I'm just gonna have to go a little bit at a time until I'm done with this entire broccoli. So see you in like half an hour. So not gonna lie, so far this has not been my favorite thing ever. This broccoli bread will have to be groundbreaking for me to ever make this again until I get a proper food processor. I'm sure I'm gonna like it, just not enough for me to go through all of that again. Especially because I like broccoli, but it's kind of one of the most annoying vegetable to work with, right? I'm not alone in this. At the very least, I know my brother thinks so as well, because he said that when we cooked together recently on Christmas. That's half a year ago already. Where did the time go, baby? It's gone. we can now make the bread. I feel like you could have added everything to the food processor if you have a big enough food processor. If not, because it's just add all of the ingredients together. But I think that's also the kind of recipe that you want, especially for meal prep, because if you're gonna be cooking a lot in one day, you want the recipes to be as easy as possible. I still have like chunks in there. It's good enough. This is also more than 300 grams actually. We're also gonna add 3 eggs. Now say it with me. I know you know it now. 1, 2 y 3. You're so good! Such a fast learner. Add 3/4 cup or 90 grams of whole wheat flour. Of course, baking powder should be about 15 grams. Yeah, it's technically this entire pack. Salt and pepper. That's what the recipe says. And now garlic! Lots and lots of garlic. I want it garlicky. Just some random dried herbs. Started adding cumin to everything, so I must add it to this as well. And maybe we're gonna leave it there. I don't know. We're definitely gonna mix it now. I think you could also add cheese to this. This is a very fluffy consistency. I like this. I am gonna add a bit of nutritional yeast. You know, it's gonna give me a little bit of a cheesy flavor, but also add protein. With this amount, I will have probably forgotten I put it in there at all by the time I try this. Let's see if it also works with this. Yeah, kind of. It's all you got to do. Now you just put it in there. Well, Naomi has some pumpkin seeds lying around, and the recipe just so happens to ask for them. Excellent. Now we bake it. 180 degrees Celsius again for about 30 to 35 minutes. Cooking time may vary. See you then. Our loaf is done. Our bread. It's still piping hot, steaming hot. Which makes me think maybe I should wait a little while longer to try it, but I don't want to. It seems very soft. Maybe it just has to cool down and then it'll harden. But right now this seems very soft, very moist. Probably should have added a little bit more flour. This seems more like a mousse. Cheers. Oh, this is delicious. It's basically just broccoli. Why wouldn't it be? It doesn't just taste like broccoli. This will be really, really nice with like cottage cheese or so on top. Something sweet as well because it's oddly bitter. I like this. Yeah, I wish I had added more flour, but that's maybe for next time. Although there probably won't be a next time because of my blender situation. But you know what? I'll happily eat this week. So yay, me. Moving on. I don't know about y'all, but I know about us, and it's the only thing. Since when do I say y'all anyway? No day for me can be perfect without a snack in the afternoon with my coffee. You know, I just need it to survive. Usually I just have fruits, but I decided maybe I should up my game a little. And since we're meal prepping, we're gonna make lemon balls. I wanna go with a lemon theme this week. Oftentimes I'm not really a fan of like these ball recipes because they're always a combination of like blended date with something. This recipe isn't much different. It won't use dates because my food processor cannot handle dates. To a ball. You're gonna add 150 grams of almond flour. Almond flour is so expensive that I usually don't buy it. I still have some left over from a recipe a couple of weeks ago, which won't get me to 150 grams. This is like 110. So therefore, I just take shredded almonds or I shred them myself, which I know is not the same, but it's like, I don't know, 1/10 of the price, and there's still oil in there, I know, and probably some fats or so. But I don't really care, and it still has the same effect usually. I don't know if I'd use it in like proper baking, but if we're just like mixing ingredients in a bowl, I think we should be fine. I think you know, I'm a fan of coconut as well, so we're gonna add coconut to it. I was happy to find it with coconut and lemon. If that doesn't scream my name, then I don't know what does. You could scream my name right now. Did you? A pinch of salt, 60 grams of honey, probably any other sweetener works as well. Obviously some lemon juice, oh no, not lemon pieces. And the zest of 1 lemon. I think I need a lemon juicer. Does anyone want to buy me this Alessi one? I think it's so pretty. This is actually quite a chill video. I like it. I'd be happy to do this more often also, because like I'm always kind of meal prepping nowadays. And that makes me want to try different recipes as well. Now just a little bit of vanilla. Of course we gotta mix it all together. Guess I added too much coconut because this is dry. It's okay, that means we get to add more lemon juice. I mean, we want it to be sticky. I also don't want it to be too dry. Now, without the shape of balls, these lemon balls wouldn't be balls. So let's make some balls. And we're gonna cover them in more coconut flakes. Ooh, this works well. And that way you don't get any coconut flakes on your sticky hands. I feel like this is not gonna satisfy me as a snack though, so I don't think I will be making that again. This is more so giving, and maybe this was the intention with this all along, but this is more so giving snack after dinner to me. Cheers. Oh, they're very smooth. It's funny, they're not dry, but somehow they're still kind of hard and long to eat. They're a bit bitter, which I don't mind, just so you know. I don't mind it. I like them. Not something I would make again, probably, but really good. It's dinner time, but before we make dinner, I quickly gotta listen to Zara Larsson's new song because I keep seeing snippets of her music video and it looks and sounds kind of fun, and I'm like, maybe I'm back in my pop era. Or at least if there's also singing involved, which doesn't happen often these days in pop music, so. Oh. That was fun. Not really for me. I don't think I will listen to it again, but I will dance to it if it ever came on. For like, what feels like a minute, because, God, pop songs these days. Guys, we need bridges. What's this? Barely 3 minutes. Alright guys, secrets out. Not yet. In 3, 2, 1. We'll be making a salad. It's just my current obsession, so I cannot not make a salad because I want a salad this week and it's my meal prep. I've always liked a good salad. I was just always a little too lazy to make a salad because it's just like a lot of chopping. It kind of always has a similar formula, so let's go with that. The formula is to first chop everything, but you'll just see it when I add it to the bowl. So the first step is actually to take some tofu and we're gonna fry it. I fry it on its own first, and then later I add either beans, sometimes even lentils, preferably chickpeas though, even though there seems to be a shortage on chickpeas because the last 3 weeks I could not find any chickpeas. Today I could find them though, so we can finally add chickpeas to our tofu later on so that they fry as well. That's kind of the first step. I will also add a lot of seasoning to my tofu so that I don't even have to add a lot to the salad later on. I'm also gonna be frying the tofu in the oil that comes with sun-dried tomatoes, which the sun-dried tomatoes we're also gonna add later, but we're not there yet. Let's fry the tofu. It's a fun song. And I'm also gonna fry it with a little bit of green onion, which we're gonna add later on as well. Also, I don't do any of the steps to the tofu that you're supposed to do before frying it. That's what I kept saying in my tofu video as well. I just take the tofu out of the packaging and I cube it and I put it into a pan and fry it. It works perfectly for me. I don't need the extra steps of pressing it, then cornstarch and stuff. I don't need all of that. I'm happy with the texture. I actually don't really see a difference in texture that much for me to add that extra step. Let's start with garlic. You know, I'm gonna add a lot so that I don't have to add anything to the salad at the end. Cumin, pepper, salt, cayenne pepper, paprika. I'll just keep singing. Some ginger, why not? Some herbs, why not? Ooh, curry, sure, why not? I think that's it. We're just gonna let the tofu do its thing in the back before we add the chickpeas. But this takes a little while, so in the meantime, I'm just gonna show you what else I add to the salad. You need a really big bowl. We've got some radish, some cucumber, but not a lot because I'd rather snack on cucumber than have it in my salad actually. Tomatoes, little ones. Like I said, some green onion. I've got some red bell pepper and the sun-dried tomatoes that I promised you. Don't worry, there's more. But first, let's add the chickpeas to our tofu. And I'm gonna add some feta. I also put in the juice that the feta comes in because it's salty and I'm like, you know, might as well. These aren't cubes, but rectangles. It doesn't matter. So lettuce is difficult because if you eat the salad for a couple of days, you might not want to add lettuce right away, but like add it every day to your portion because it will shrink and kind of shrivel and die. I don't mind that actually. So I just add it right away. I've got a little bit of just like this lettuce and some leftover arugula. I'm just gonna roughly chop it. This is not gonna be like the most exciting salad ever, right? But it gets the job done for me. It's tasty, I think. I mean, obviously you can like pick and choose what you add according to your liking. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a simple salad. I'm also gonna add some sunflower seeds to my pan. Okay guys, I reserved the chickpea juice, aquafaba it's also called. It has a lot of protein apparently. I was like, surely there are benefits to it. I googled it, there are, so I've always just added it to the salad as kind of like a dressing situation. Not that it has a lot of flavor, but it just brings juiciness. I'm gonna try adding it to the tofu, just seeing what happens. It's an experiment. I think this is good because then we have a dressing right away. Now just a couple more things. I still have some lemon, so we're gonna use that for a dressing as well. Also more nutritional yeast. That's it already. Usually I also add like white onion or red onion, but I don't have that right now. Oh, no, olives. We need olives because the initial inspiration was like some sort of Mediterranean one. Usually I cut them in half, but this time I won't. Also, I don't mind a little bit of the juice in there as well because it just adds flavor. In that case, we can add our tofu situation as well. Ooh, spicy. Guys, I can pretend to mix it like this, but ta-da! There's my meal prep salad. I will usually have it with rice cake. Sometimes I have it just like that. But look, this will last you either one party or it'll last me 3 to 4 days. And because we added so much seasoning, this is well seasoned already. Also, I love the aquafaba situation because that worked really well. This tastes really good, the salad. This is a really good one, guys. Can't wait for dinner now. Our meal prep for the next couple of days is done. Isn't that exciting? Wow. I'm really gonna enjoy all of this for the next couple of days. As I said, this was meant to be kind of a chill video. What is not very chill about this video is that I don't know how I'm supposed to fit all of this into my section of the fridge. Yeah, that's really not very funny, haha, is it? But that's none of your concern anymore. I'll go about my day now and we'll have yummy little salad later. Actually, to me, it tastes better the second day and the third even because all of the juices will have combined into something super duper flavorful. So I'm excited for that. Thank you guys for joining me for this chili billy video. I'm out and I'm actually gonna leave the house because I have to. Entonces, nos vemos la próxima vez y adiós.